So I was, yeah, going through the recruiting process, and I was always a big Iowa wrestling fan, and they were my team and all that, but I also wanted to kind of stay unbiased and try to make the best decision for me, not just do it just because I was a big fan, and I wanted to be true to myself. So I took these visits, and basically, yeah, I went out to Iowa, and at the time, a big thing, the big Young Guns philosophy is, you work hard on the mat, and then off the mat, you're doing all the right things. So it's super clean cut kid, that didn't drink, didn't do drugs, any of that stuff. And I was like, you work hard and then do the right things off the mat, basically. And so I go out there, and my visit, I'm around all these guys that I look up to and all this, but I just kind of got a vibe of the culture where I was like, um, it seems like, yeah, the wrestling's important, but the social stuff is kind of not really what I'm about. And I felt like, I don't know if I'm going to fit in here because I'm not really into the work hard, play hard so much. And these guys are probably sick of me telling this story, but basically I was like, I just think Lehigh's a little bit more of a fit for me. I think I'm going to go there. I remember I went back and I was super close with Jody. So I was talking to him and I was like, I just think there's like a little bit of a disrupt with the culture. So I'm really leaning towards committing to Lehigh, um, and then Jody, has a relationship with the brands and everything. So he just tells them, hey, Kemerer didn't have a good experience. And instantly Tom's like calling me. He's like, hey, we're coming out. We need to set this straight. There's no excuse for that. And he got in the car, drove, showed up at my house right around like dinner time, and came inside and was like, what are your concerns and like how can we fix them? It was very to the point, and I laid it out for him, and he was like, basically like, we as a coaching staff are about good culture. We're bringing you in because we want good culture. Like, we're trying to change the things that have been wrong with our program that have caused us to not win. And so he laid it all out for me. And then we were like, all right, you want to stay for dinner, like blah, blah, blah. And he's like, nope, I got to get back. Not even an hour
What?
later, hops back in the car, drives straight back, I think. Yeah. So it was crazy. It was like a quick thing, literally just have an in-person conversation. So then at that point, I'm like, man, pretty reassuring. Showed a serious commitment there. It definitely swayed me, and talked to my parents again, and a day later, 2 days later, I switched my commitment. So it's a wild story.
Did you actually
And
commit to Lehigh?
no, I was about to. I think I told my high school coach. I think I told some of my buddies, and I never even told them like that I was going to switch. They just saw it and were like, "Oh, you switched," and I was like, kind of told them the story later.
Wow. I can't even
Yeah,
imagine if Michael Kimmer went to Lehigh. That's crazy to even imagine. And not that Lehigh's a great program and a great school, but it's just, I think of you as like the one of those staple Iowa guys of that generation. So it's crazy to imagine.
yeah, and Lehigh's probably getting sick of me telling that story too, but it's a good story. I mean, like I said, it spoke a lot about their commitment to me, and I do think we got in there and we got a really good group of guys, and it ended up paying off. We got a title, so
Well, everyone knows the Gable era of the 80s was definitely the work hard, play hard, guys going out till 5 in the morning but still going and wrestling the next day and winning. And you think of like Royce Alger and Randy Lewis, like these guys are
yeah,
animals. But
yeah,
and everyone knows Iowa City is definitely a wild place, but the
right.
wrestling programs is pretty buttoned up. And so it's just cool that Brands was like that. And no one doubts his dedication, but he's that committed where he does no questions asked, gets in the car, doesn't stay for dinner. That's insane.
Yeah. At the time, I was odd, and now after going through the whole experience there, it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, I think that the same situation could have happened uh, to someone else this summer or whatever, and I think the
Sure.
same thing. I think the same exact thing would happen. So it's pretty cool story.